This is just a quick video on how to do synthetic division. Synthetic division comes in handy in calculus when we're looking for our x-intercepts of our cubic equations or our cubic graphs. Synthetic division works similarly to long division, whereas with long division we subtract in the method and in synthetic division we add. So that's just the only thing to remember. Let's get straight in. If I want to factorize 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 10x minus 6, I need a factor. So a factor of this we could be able to determine. Maybe we were given it. We could use our calculator to calculate it or to determine it. But x plus 1 is a factor of this. So I want to divide 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 10x minus 6 by the factor of x plus 1. For synthetic division, we're going to start by just drawing out our little synthetic division table. All our coefficients, as well as our constant. We also need the other number in our brackets. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our coefficients and we're going to list them out. So 2, then minus 2, minus 10, and minus 6. So we got all of those from our expression. Now what we need to do is we need to take this x plus 1 and we are going to just make it a minus 1. So if it was a x minus 1, I'd make it a plus 1. X plus 1, I make it a minus 1. When I start, I'm going to start by taking my first term down. So therefore, I have a 2. What I'm going to do with that 2 is I'm now going to multiply it with the negative 1. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Now I'm going to take these terms or these numbers and I am going to add them together, not subtract them like we did in long division. What we're going to do is we're going to add them. So minus 2 plus minus 2 is negative 4. Then I take this negative 4, multiply it with that negative 1. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. Now I'm going to take the minus 10 and I'm going to add the 4. So minus 10 plus 4 is negative 6. Then I take that negative 6, multiply it with the negative 1. Negative 6 times negative 1 is positive 6. And negative 6 plus 6 is 0. All right, so now what we've done is we have created the terms in our answer. So we're going to work from the right to the left. This will be the remainder, so it's actually a 0. This will now be my constant. This will be the coefficient of my x, and that will be the coefficient of my x squared. So what I've created is I've created another term over here, another expression. Okay, so if I wrote this out, I would write it out as 2x squared minus 4x minus 6, and there's no remainder. So I can therefore conclude that 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 10x minus 6 is equal to my initial factor, which was x plus 1, and this answer over here, so 2x squared minus 4x minus 6, which you can then factorize further. All right, if I have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 6, and I am going to use the factor x plus 3. So I want to divide that polynomial by x plus 3. So I'm going to draw my upside down little division that I work with. Now I'm going to take this positive 3 and I'm going to make it a negative 3. If it was a negative 3, I would have made it a positive 3. Then I'm going to take the coefficients. So I have a 1, I have a positive 2, I have a negative 5, and the constant of negative 6, and I'm going to list those down. So I have 1, 2, negative 5, and negative 6. So I start by carrying down my first term, which is a 1. Now I take that 1 and I'm going to multiply it with the negative 3. And 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Then I'm going to add 2 and negative 3. And 2 and negative 3 gives me negative 1. I then take that negative 1 and I multiply it with the negative 3 and I get a positive 3. Now I'm going to say minus 5 plus 3 gives me negative 2. I take that negative 2, I multiply it with the negative 3 and I get an answer of positive 6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say negative 6 plus 6 and that gives me 0 as a remainder. So I've created my terms now. So I have my remainder, my constant, my coefficient of my x, and my coefficient of my x squared. So this answer is x squared minus x minus 2 and then plus 0. So I could therefore state that x cubed plus 2x squared minus 5x minus 6 is equal to x plus 3 multiplied with x squared minus x minus 2. Now if I were to just tidy this up and finish factorizing, I would have x plus 3. Then inside this bracket, I have a trinomial of x squared minus x minus 2, which factorizes as x minus 2, x plus 1. So we would be able to therefore use this in order to determine our x-intercepts of our cubic function or our cubic graph. Now, if we just quickly look at this example that I just did, I just want to bring your attention to the fact that it has to be an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and then a constant. All right? So that if you don't have the x cubed, the x squared, the x, or the constant, you're going to replace those with zeros just so that we can keep our spacing the same. If we look at our last example, x cubed minus 12x minus 16, and I am going to divide this by the factor of x plus 2. If I look at this, I can notice that I'm missing an x squared in my term. So I'm going to draw my upside down division. This term of plus 2, I'm going to divide, I'm going to make it a minus 2 over here. So now I'm going to take the rest of my coefficients. I have a 1, then I have a 0, then I have a minus 12, and my constant is negative 16. So I'm going to write them out as 1, then a 0, a minus 12, and a minus 16. So I start by carrying down my 1, and I'm going to take that 1 and I'm going to multiply it with a negative 2, and I'm going to get negative 2. Now I'm going to add them, 0 plus minus 2, which is negative 2. I then take that negative 2, multiply it with the negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So I have minus 12 plus 4, which is negative 8. Then I take this negative 8, multiply it with the negative 2. Negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. And negative 16 plus 16 is 0. So I've created the exact same order of terms. I have my remainder, I have my constant, I have my coefficient of my x, and I have a coefficient of the x squared. So this would become x squared minus 2x minus 8. So I could therefore state that x cubed minus 12x minus 16, so it's equal to what I divided everything by, which is x plus 2, and then x squared minus 2x minus 8. So I have x plus 2, x squared minus 2x minus 8 would factorize as x minus 4, x plus 2, and then I would therefore have my x-intercepts.